Hey wine lovers, welcome from Santorini once again, coming to you live, this time from one of the most beautiful spots on the whole island. Look at it. Look at the view behind me. You can actually see right in the center of the fantastic phenomenon that created this island. We're in Santorini right now. You can see the other three islands that the eruption created 3,500 years ago. Now today, as promised, last time I was in the vineyards. Today I'm coming to you from the mainland, from the winery of Santo Wines, the famous cooperative winery of the island. Extremely popular destination for wine tourists and tourists in general. And as I said, one of the most prestigious and popular spots for not only for wine tasting, but also even for weddings on the island. Now, last time when I was in the vineyards, I was talking to you about the dry, arid, very hostile terroir, but mostly focusing on the ground. Today, you can see the other two elements, the sun and the wind, and there's a reason why I'm here. So, as if the dryness of the volcanic soil wasn't enough, the sun and the wind make it even more difficult for the vines to grow and for the actual grapes to be able to survive this merciless summer, this merciless season up until the harvest. Which is why, and maybe you've seen this already, there's a traditional trademark way of fixing, of weaving the vines that the winemakers, the vintners, do from the ancient times, which is called kulura, as in basket, in a round way, so that first of all the grapes, the bunches, can grow on the inside to be protected from the gusts of wind that you can see all around, and then the canopy of the leaves on top can protect them from the sun and help them ripen, mature a bit more gradually. So when we're talking about Santorini, that's a no-brainer, everyone knows that. We're talking about Assyrtiko. And Assyrtiko is one of the most sought-after grapes the world over. Nowadays you can find Assyrtiko in Australia, in Cyprus, in South Africa, in California, in the Balkans, all over Greece, but this is where it was born. And Assyrtiko is a grape that people like, people prefer for all kinds of different reasons. The two main elements, the two main characteristics that we associate with Assyrtiko is its explosive acidity and its very, very mineral aromatic profile. So when we're talking about Assyrtiko, you're not expecting a floral or a very fruity wine, where you're expecting a wine with, whose main characteristics are minerality, acidity, salinity, because the vineyards are right next to the sea, and a very, very austere, in a way, aromatic profile related to fruits, mostly to do with citrus fruits. And the interesting thing about Assyrtiko, being one of the most age-worthy white grapes all over the world, is the fact that as it ages, it actually transforms into something much more complex, much more mature, much more unique, with the fruity character subsiding and the minerality becoming even more and more prominent. Now today, I'm here to... I'm here to make sure that the Assyrtiko that we taste is something that is literally unique, very, very typical, very, very characteristic, but also quite innovative. Here at Santo Wines, the one label that I had chosen to taste for you is an Assyrtiko with a twist. So the wine that I'm about to taste with you today is called Irini, and Irini means peace in Greek. This is single vineyard Assyrtiko that has been vinified and matured in Vinsanto oak barrels for 18 months. Now, Vinsanto, for those of you who don't know, should not be, the Santorini Vinsanto should not be confused with the Italian Vinsanto. This is not a a holy wine to be used in Holy Communion or whatever. This is the very, very popular, very, very typical sweet wine of Santorini, made with the local grapes, primarily Assyrtiko, sun-dried, very, very overripe, very, very sweet. We're talking sometimes more than 250 grams of sugar per liter. And then aged for a long, long time in special oak barrels to acquire this special spicy, oaky, woody character that will keep it in its shape or form for years to come. Now, in these barrels, once they've been used for the maturation of Assyrtiko, this particular label, which is pretty new for Santo wines, is maturing, as I said, 18 months, and I'd like to taste this with you today. This is vintage 2017. Alcohol is at 14.5. You can see the color of the wine. It's golden. The oak maturation obviously makes it unique, gives it this unique, very special color. And then on the nose, you can actually pick up, there's a hint of complexity. Sometimes people who like sweet wines might think that there's a bit of botrytis in Vinsanto. There isn't, obviously, but this is the sort of characteristic that comes to you first, giving it a very, very special, very mature, very, let's say, rustic in a way feeling in the nose. Of course, the underlying tones of the Assyrtiko, the mineral tones, the earthy tones, the stony tones are definitely there. So this is unmistakably an Assyrtiko. And then once you have it on your palate, you either know or don't if it is an Assyrtiko or not, because that's where the typical characteristics and of course the acidity of the Assyrtiko will come into play. Very special wine. Absolutely fantastic, extremely age-worthy if you're into that sort of thing, or paired with the right food, the right dish, it could be absolutely fantastic. Now, if you are an Assyrtiko lover like me, I would even say if you are an Assyrtiko addict like me, you would possibly have a glass of Assyrtiko as an aperitif. That's not to say that this is how it could be done, should be done for most of the world. Assyrtiko, because of the fairly high alcohol levels and also the acidity, can be perceived by, let's say, untrained palates as a bit aggressive. So to have it as an aperitif, it needs trained palates, experienced drinkers, or people who at least know what to expect. But then, I mean, I believe that Assyrtiko is strictly a food pairing wine, a food pairing magical wine, and if you do that, then you can have a fantastic experience. Assyrtiko in its pure form, unoaked, fresh, coming from the stainless steel vat, is perfect for raw seafood, for fresh fish, for fried fish, small bait, you name it. Ceviche, sushi, what's the other thing that I'm thinking about? Carpaccio, all those sorts of different lemony, fatty, very fishy, very sea-oriented tastes. Now, when you're talking about barrel-aged Assyrtiko, then you need to think of other tastes, either smoked or grilled or barbecued or whatever. So if you're in Greece, if you're sitting by the sea and you're having, let's say, grilled calamari, and that's grilled over wood or coal, or grilled fish, then something like this would be absolutely perfect. So this is a sort of wine that shows us exactly how versatile Assyrtiko can be. In its pure form, it's absolutely clean, and you can make the most of its acidity and minerality just to have the Santorini effect in a seafood-oriented dish. But if you go to something a bit more complex, oak matured, especially with a treatment like this, then you can go to all kinds of different levels as well. So food pairing can be a lot of fun with a wine like this. I actually have friends who would possibly pair this sort of wine with spit roasted lamb, for instance. And thinking of it, that actually might be an interesting experience that I might want to try in the future. Anyway, morals of the story is, Assyrtiko, whatever you've heard, all the magical, all those fantastic words that you've heard about Assyrtiko are true, and then some. And the same goes for Santorini. Look at it. We're talking about paradise on earth. We're talking something that combines such a dramatic landscape, very, very hospitable people, beautiful places to stay at, and food and wine to die for. So all in all, I'm concluding a beautiful experience right in front of your eyes here, and I invite you either this year if you can, or definitely in the future, if you're true wine lovers, to join me in Santorini anytime in the future. Until then, llamas.